There are 7 billion people on the planet and nearly 5 billion cell phones, meaning most of the Earth's population is connected for sound, for picture, for heaven only knows what else. The cell phone has brought us a world without end of talking, twittering, texting, even of sexting. If you don't know what that is, ask any high school kid. It's all the result of Marty Cooper's big idea. And he looks at it all with pride, amusement, and some dismay, and with good reason. He's the father of the cell phone. He built the first one 37 years ago. It ushered in a technological and social revolution, which he believes is far from over. He made the first public cell phone call on the sidewalks of New York in 1973.
This is a time when there were no cordless phones, and certainly no cell phones. And here's this guy talking as he was walking along, and I stepped into the street and nearly got creamed by a New York taxi cab. So talk about being prescient and seeing a picture of the future.
It's a future of nonstop connection of apps galore, iPhones and Droids, Blackberries, and Bluetooth, or is it Bluetooth?
So you really like this thing, huh?
Marty Cooper checks out the latest at the wireless industry's annual convention in Las Vegas.
Wow.
A huge convergence where geeks meet gizmos.
How do I remove? I know how to add
And unlike some of us of a certain age, he understands all of it. Do you tweet or Twitter?
I signed up for Twitter about 6 months ago, did nothing, and I had 17 followers. so now I'm actually Twittering. My latest Twitter is the secret of successful aging is to have good genes and to show a lot of respect for those genes.
You think you're the oldest Twitterer in America?
I don't want to be the oldest anything in America, sir. Sorry about that.
But you'll have to look hard to find anyone older on the slopes at Vail, his favorite getaway. Marty Cooper was born in Chicago on the eve of the Great Depression. He's 81. An age for many when the most strenuous exercise of the day is getting in and out of bed.
His tennis and his skiing are better than they've ever been. I have a hard time keeping up with them, and I'm almost 20 years younger.
With his wife Arlene, another veteran of the mobile phone business, Marty Cooper is still in the game, awaiting the next big thing in wireless communication. He's convinced that the cell phone at 37 is still in its infancy.
Technology has to be invisible, transparent, just simple. A modern cell phone in general has an instruction book that's bigger and heavier than the cell phone. That's not right.
Call it the complexity or confusion factor.
You can use this device to connect up to 5 different computers or Wi-Fi capable devices at one time. Really cool. It's the future. Welcome to the 21st century.
Cooper argues that cell phones designed to do everything, take pictures, play music and videos, surf the web, don't do any of them really well. He thinks the buyers should be dictating exactly what they want.
The consumer is king. The consumer ought to make the decisions and certainly not the engineer.
Because engineers try to dazzle other engineers rather than...
That's right. Engineers tend to get enchanted by the technology itself.
Do you know what a jitterbug phone is?
No, I don't.
So it seems only natural that the latest gadget developed by Cooper and his wife is a retro cell phone called the Jitterbug. A basic phone. No camera, no music. Any idiot can operate it.
Try it. What do you hear?
Dial tone.
Yeah, if there's dial tone, you can call. If there's no dial tone, you can't.
Why'd you drag me up here on the roof? His next target, dropouts, lost calls. Atop his office building, ugly conventional cell phone antennas are disguised as flagpoles.
They cover all of this area.
He's developing so-called smart antennas that can cut through all the competing noise in the radio environment to get your call through.
And what they do is when we transmit, we send the information only to your phone.
You mean we will reach the day when each cell phone will be perfect, or as perfect as a landline.
That's exactly right.
What hath Marty Cooper wrought? Let us go for a moment Back to the Future.
New York, calling all cars for a preview of tomorrow.
The cell's precursor, the car telephone, came in right after World War II.
A tiny radio transmitter sends your voice out over the airwaves to the nearest central station, where regular telephone operators can connect you with any telephone on land or sea.
World of wonders. If someone was sick, you could track down the doctor on the road.
Well, just keep him in bed, and I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Remember, these were the quaint old days when doctors, at least in newsreels, made house calls.
Henpecked Elmer is shopping for the wife at home.
Even then, it was clear that being connected would put everyone on a very short leash.
George, I forgot to tell you. Now get me 2 dozen oranges, 2 loaves of bread, 20 pounds of potatoes, 5 pounds of sugar, 2...
And when in the 60s, AT&T developed more sophisticated cellular antennas, the phone giant still considered car phones the name of the game. But Marty Cooper and his engineers at Motorola thought otherwise and decided to elbow their way into the business.
We really had a basic understanding that people are mobile, and it's personal telephones they want. It's handheld portables. So there was a real conflict between this elephant that was AT&T and this fly that was Motorola. But we ended up winning.
On a chilly spring day, we took Cooper back to the spot where he made that first call, 6th Avenue outside the New York Hilton. For the record, the call went to Joel Engel, Cooper's rival at AT&T.
I said, Joel, this is Marty Cooper. He says, hi. I'm calling you from a cellular phone, but a real cellular phone, a handheld portable cellular phone. And there was silence on the end of the line.
You could not resist rubbing it in.
Oh, no question about it.
Wait for a dial tone, which I hope you'll be able to hear too. There it is.
At a news conference inside the Hilton, Cooper introduced his gadget and encouraged reporters to try it out.
The first reporter I talked to actually called her mother in Australia. And she was astounded when her mother answered. She couldn't understand how this little phone could talk halfway across the earth, which of course it didn't.
Little phone? What are you talking about, little phone?
Well, relatively small. I mean, after all, it only weighed 2.5 pounds.
And now I hang it up. And the only thing I can say is, what will they think of next?
It's still a good question. Where is cell phone technology going?
I think we are just barely scratching the surface.
Take the issue of health and fitness. A workout fanatic, if there ever was one, Cooper says the day is fast approaching when your phone or something like it will be checking your vital signs day and night.
The healthcare industry is going to be revolutionized because you will have sensors at various points of your body measuring different things, and a computer somewhere, or maybe a doctor, will be examining you all the time.
And the whole concept demonstration is built for the diabetic audience.
It's not that far-fetched. Health monitoring was a major theme at that recent wireless convention in Las Vegas.
The concept of the annual physical examination, it's almost worthless, because looking at your body at a point in time doesn't really tell doctors very much at all. But if you could measure these things all of the time, you can predict heart failures, you can predict diabetes, and you can prevent all these things.
From his hideaway overlooking the Pacific in Southern California, Cooper contemplates a society where such familiar touchstones like money and credit cards, simple human contacts, are things of the past, replaced by wireless devices that will rule our lives. Isn't there almost a brave new world sense behind all of this being connected? What does it do to our privacy?
Sorry, privacy is a thing of the past.
He's got a point. Security cameras track our movements. Cell phones hold clues to what we've read, where we've been, and where we are. Police track down suspects on Facebook. And police states can no longer suppress instant images of their repression.
I think the whole concept of privacy requires a new mindset among people. There are people that object to somebody monitoring their buying habits. I'm delighted if people know what I buy because they're going to tailor their marketing to me and the products that are available to me to my taste. Well, it's a good thing. Society.
Well, yes and no. I mean, hiding something is a kind of undeniable human right, you know, to have some sense of a private life. The next gizmo could start reading our thoughts, and who wants that?
They're not going to be able to read our minds for a few generations, if ever.
Well, they're working on it, though.
Yes, they are. The reason it was so huge is we had to put so much in it.
Cooper is annoyed, as we all are, by his cell phone, which butted in as we were discussing the gadget's history.
We never would have... Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I just got a notification from my...
I thought you, had a
no,
parrot or a budgie in here.
my droid came with me, and it says, droid, every time I get an email message, and so I corrected it. Now it goes beep.
And he's philosophical on the topic of bad phone manners, that worldwide curse of other people's chatter, sound and fury signifying nothing.
You know, it doesn't take a telephone to make people be either stupid or rude. They're going to be both of those.
So get used to it and don't take it out on the phone.
When I throw this against the wall,
They're making them shockproof and waterproof anyway.
Let's say if you spilled something on it, unfortunately.
And besides, as the future bears down on us, Marty Cooper says eventually man and machine will become one.
The optimum telephone is one that I think someday is going to be embedded behind your ear. It's going to have an extraordinarily powerful computer running the cell phone. And I'm going to name my computer Sam. And I'm going to say, Sam, get Morley on the phone for me. And Sam's going to respond in my ear. Which Morley? Is this your cousin Morley in Toronto or the Morley Safer in New York? And I'm going to say, Morley Safer. And the next thing you know, I'm going to be talking to you.